I'm Nicole Huck, and this is Saskatchewan. It's not often that our province draws international attention for pop culture, but U.S. pop sensation Chappell Roan is giving Saskatchewan its flowers. Her latest single, The Subway, was finally released on the last day of July. In it are lyrics that have left those of us from here fawning all over ourselves. I mean, a shout out from a superstar, amazing. But those same lyrics have left a lot of people on the internet very confused. Chappell Roan won Best New Artist at the Grammys, and now she's singing, "Fuck this city, I'm moving to Saskatchewan." So let's dig in, shall we? I've been seeing all kinds of reaction to this on TikTok and other social media. But it's Abby Zidman's job to follow the pop culture bouncing ball. She's a staff writer for BuzzFeed, and she joins me now. Hey, Abby.
Hi. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. So for those of us who might be living under a rock, just tell us who Chappell Roan is.
For sure. So Chappell Roan is a pop singer and performer. As you said, she just won Best New Artist at the Grammys in 2024. She's best known for her album, which is called The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. And on that album are songs like Good Luck Babe or Hot to Go, which you've definitely seen on TikTok. They're all very poppy and very fun. Speaking of her album name, she's from a small town in Missouri. And what's so impressive about her is honestly beyond her voice, which to me reminds me of a mix of like Lady Gaga and Kate Bush, which is so powerful and stunning. But she's also a totally self-made artist, which is incredible. She opened for Olivia Rodrigo's Guts World Tour in 2024. And that was, I think, her biggest breakout moment so far in her career. And that's when I started to love her, at least. So yeah, that's a little intro on her.
So she's a big deal. Pink Pony Club has been on probably
Big
everybody's. Like if you haven't heard Pink Pony Club, I am like actually just curious. If you haven't heard Pink Pony Club, email us. I need to know about your social media habits here, people. So I understand that some of the reaction to the one line of the song left you speechless. Why is it so wild that Saskatchewan gets a name drop like this?
For sure. It definitely left me speechless and so excited. But I think the reason boils down to the fact that it just doesn't happen that often, especially in mainstream American music. We don't get a lot of shout outs like this. I'm Torontonian, and I can think of a few songs that my city is called out in, but it's not often that other places in Canada get that same attention. So the fact that she picked Saskatchewan is so cool and so rare. I also think the way she leaned into the Sask of it all through the intro video was so surprising and wild. There's only one lyric about Saskatchewan in the song, but the whole promo video was really about Saskatchewan and highlighted it, which was so much fun. And, you know, above all, it's just really nice to see your favorite celebrity tapping into a niche you never thought they would, especially someone so popular. And especially if that niche is part of your identity. And it kind of makes you feel like they know you and they love you. And I'm sure Chappell loves Saskatchewan, which is so nice to know.
I did feel like that. What did we learn about Americans from the reaction?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot that we learned. I would say a lot of Americans were either like looking up what Saskatchewan is,
But
and others
I saw one tweet that was like, "What? This is a real place."
Yeah, there was. So I think some people were like, I know this is a real place, but I don't know where it is. Others were like, oh, I thought this was somewhere Chappell made up. But a good amount as well, like on our BuzzFeed post, a lot of the comments were from Americans, at least a few were from Americans saying, oh yeah, I know about Saskatchewan and I love Saskatchewan. So I think we learned that there's a really large range of how much Americans know about Saskatchewan. I was seeing a lot of people who were curious about where it is, but also a couple people who did know who it was. But I would say most people were probably just confused about where exactly it was, which led to some very amazing humor on the internet.
So what about the other Toronto people? Like, do you feel happy for us for having a moment, or you're like, why? Why Saskatchewan?
I loved it. And I think everybody in Toronto really loved it because we know what it's like to get our name featured in a song because Toronto's in so many different songs. So if we can share the wealth a little bit, share the positivity a little bit, then that's amazing. Like all my Torontonian friends are thrilled about this as well because we get to give other Canadians a chance to have the spotlight a little bit.
So you talked a little bit about that Grid Road video teaser. It's iconic. You know, it's a canola field in Saskatchewan. You see the big red. Well, it's not. We know it's not Chappell Roan's actual hair flying out the window, but you know, it's her iconic hair. You know, it was very like for just to see it is exciting, but to be part of that is even more exciting. So we heard that it was Captive Media in Regina that helped produce it, and we caught up with Jill Ducart. So she's one of the content creators, and this is how it all came together.
It's been a whirlwind, honestly. It still feels like a dream. But yeah, so we got a call from Universal Music Group Canada asking if we would be interested in helping them out with one of their artists. So we were like, yeah, sure, just email us some more information. And the title of the email was Confidential Chappell Roan Social Media Campaign. And we all start freaking out. We were all in a huddle in our back office, and we were just like, what is happening? We have to do this no matter what. It's last minute, but we got to do this because what a story. They wanted us to rent a moving van and drive it across the Saskatchewan border where it says welcome to Saskatchewan. So this was on a Friday and they wanted the footage by Tuesday. So we scrambled all weekend to make it happen. And honestly, we're still buzzing over it. Initially, they were going to expedite us a red wig and then it wasn't going to make it here in time. So they asked us to find one. So Riley was at one of the wig stores in Regina shopping on the weekend. I went and picked it up. I curled it to look like her hair. It was actually the worker from the company that we rented the moving truck from. We gave them some details, but we just kind of told them, yeah, we need a moving truck, we need a driver. There's a couple props we need to use, a license plate and a wig, and we didn't give them much details after that. And yeah, pretty soon the driver found out what he signed up for is he had to wear the red wig. The license plate, they had asked if we could get a Saskatchewan license plate made that says the subway. So our designer quickly did that up, and yeah, we wrapped a license plate, and yeah, it was so much fun. They gave us little direction. They were like, it's okay if it's just on an iPhone or whatever, but we were like, no, we want to make this big and do it the best we can and offer them a bunch of different shots. We went with a drone and everything, and we were like, we just want to get as many shots as we can that really shows off Saskatchewan. So we really worked together on creating a shot list that we think would look the best and turn out in a way that they would be happy with and also shows off Saskatchewan. So I think we did that, and yeah, we're really proud of how the video turned out. Oh, they were super happy with it. They were like, this is awesome. And I think because they were just expecting an iPhone video and we sent them a bunch of footage, I think it was more than they were expecting. So, and then now seeing how much it's blown up, I think everybody's super happy with the outcome. No one ever talks about Saskatchewan. No one even knows how to pronounce it. So having this huge star sing about us, pronounce it properly, it's nice to get a shout out. Like nobody thinks about us in the prairies. So it feels pretty cool.
Love that energy. And like I said, very exciting for us here in Saskatchewan. We love when famous people know we exist. So, we know that Chappell's from Missouri in the States, one of the biggest names out there. Abby, what was your reaction when the Subway video actually came out?
I think it was a lot of surprise for me. Like I said, it's so rare that this happens, and it's so rare that somewhere as specific as Saskatchewan and somewhere that doesn't necessarily get a lot of attention gets this attention from someone like Chappell Roan. I also love Chappell Roan, so it was like one worlds collide, two of my favorite things combining, like my Canadian identity and Chappell Roan. So I think there was a lot of surprise. I also loved reading all the jokes about it, and because it's so rare for Canadian province to be mentioned, I also felt a lot of excitement and warmth and togetherness from Canadians, even people from all across Canada. Everybody was kind of enjoying this moment of Canadian pride, especially when it had to do with a famous singer. So I think there was a lot of positivity and pride as well.
Does it make you want to come here? Are we now on your travel bucket list?
Absolutely. I have to say, my cousin goes to school there and she has been raving about it for so long, telling me to come, not just about the beauty of the place itself, but also how welcoming the people are. And so I've been dying to go. And honestly, I think this just gives me another perfect reason to. So you might see me there very soon.
It's funny because Tourism Saskatchewan has been trying to, take advantage of this moment as well as again, as you mentioned, people are just Googling like, what is Saskatchewan? So we'll get into it a little bit later in this podcast about some of the political implications and all the other jazz. But Abby, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you.
So there's a bit more that's interesting about this too, and that's the political side of it. Our province is seen as one of the most right-wing provinces in the country. All but one of our MPs is conservative, and then there's the whole Sask party pronoun policy. That's where the kids under 16 need consent from their parents to change their name or use a preferred pronoun at school. The internet and the queer community here have noticed, and they want her to come here and shake things up and maybe even make us a little bit of a queer mecca. So here is Saskatoon's Chris Bynes, who goes on TikTok with the name Little Twink on the Prairie.
Okay, so I want to respond to this comment because honestly, you guys, let's wake it up. I feel like the Sask representation, we haven't gotten a lot of the girls, the gays, the theys, anybody in between. And everybody thinks of Sask as some place that's just for yeehaw country boys. But baby, we exist here and we're valid here. And I want to wake that up. And Chappell chose to sing about Saskatchewan, saying she's moving to Saskatchewan, which I think is literally the coolest thing, being in Saskatchewan. Literally my whole life, I grew up here and I've lived in Saskatoon now for quite a while. So seeing someone like Chappell Roan singing about our province, I think is literally the coolest thing ever. And the girlies here, we welcome you with open arms, Chappell. We want you here. We need you here. We deserve you here. So, wake it up, you guys. She chose this thing about us for a reason. So start paying more attention to Sask girlies because we're coming for your gig, period.
The same goes for Nathaniel Teed. He's the first openly gay MLA in our province. He's also the 2S LGBTQ affairs critic with the NDP. He wrote a letter to Chappell's management team and asked for some kind of collab with her. He wrote, "Our vision is a collaboration with Chappell that offers an unapologetic middle finger to bigotry and signals to queer and trans people across this province, especially youth, that they are not alone." So what are the chances that Chappell will actually come and play a show in Saskatchewan? Chappell did talk to entertainment journalist Nardwar about this back in December, so that's well before the song had the following it does now.
Saskatchewan. I was like, it's in one of my new songs that hasn't come out yet. It's called The Subway. I was looking up at venues there to try to play a show there. I owe it to them. I can't sing a song about Saskatchewan and not go there and play a show.
So, Chappell, if you're listening to this podcast, which of course you are, we would love to talk to you about the chances of you coming to play a show. And let's just hope you come here because it's nice to see a little buzz about this place we call home. And it looks like Toronto has to share a little bit of the spotlight right now, so we're okay with that.